Hi everyone, how are you? As you know that Photoshop had just released its latest version Adobe Photoshop CC 2020 or you can call it 2020 and it has lots of new cool features. So what are those cool features? Let's find out. Coming up. Hi everyone, I'm Harshvardhan. Welcome to harshvardhanart.com. As you know that recently the Photoshop 2020 has came out. So what are those top features? Let's find out. And before we go any further, please consider subscribing this channel and consider sharing this video. So having said that, let's get started. So Adobe Photoshop has just launched the latest Photoshop CC 2020 and what are its top features? Let's find out. So the first thing, when you are going to launch the Photoshop, you will see a new image instead of earlier one. This is a very beautiful image and you will see this image. Let's let it load and you will see the somewhat similar interface, and over here little bit this slideshow is different. Here you have some learning options. Okay, so on this side you have your work, you can learn, go to learn tab, so you can learn different things with the help of these videos. Then your work, you have the Lightroom photos, so if you have any Lightroom photos, those would appear over here. If you have synced them on the Adobe Creative Cloud, only then they would be available over here. And then they have the cloud documents. If you have put any documents in the Creative Cloud subscription, and those would be available over here. And if you somehow delete some of the photos or the documents, then those would be over here in the deleted options. And then next of the things are somewhat same. So let me just open an image. So let me go to home and open this image, and you have very similar interface. And the first thing, which is the topmost feature of Adobe Photoshop CC 2020, is this new object selection tool which is placed over here. Earlier, if you used to select W, you will have only two options, quick selection tool and magic wand selection tool, and now they have the option of object selection tool. So this is a new selection. This is basically similar to the subject selection which was over here, select and select subject. So that's going to select the subject that was based on the artificial intelligence and it used to select that subject. Now they have created this new tool, and over here you have the two options. So one is the rectangle and one is a lasso tool. So by default you will see the rectangle selection tool, and what you have to do, you just need to draw a rectangle or this selection around the subject, and it's going to automatically select that subject for you. And somehow if certain part is not selected, you can press Alt and then you can just paint little bit on this side, and that's going to try to remove that from the selection. Okay, so now it has made somewhat perfect selection, not that perfect, but it's okay. And then we have the lasso option. So with the help of lasso, what we can do, we can just select any area and then it's going to consider only that area and try to make a selection in that. So if we just want to select the face, suppose, so we can draw the selection around it and it's going to make the selection of the face only. And if we want just the head, hands or the arms, so we can just, with the free hand, we can just make a selection and it's going to make a selection of that. Obviously you can refine the selection anytime by pressing Alt or pressing Shift. All right, so we have all the options of add to selection, subtract selection and merge to the selection option over here on the top. So there is no problem with that. So that was the topmost feature which I love, because this is going to make our life a little bit easier, because if we go for the select and subject, that's going to select the whole subject. But if you want to select the certain part of the subject, this tool, object selection tool, is very handy. All right, so next let's move on to the next option. So next new feature is that this one, instead of an page like icon, now you see a plus icon on the new layers icon. So earlier there used to be a page like icon and now they have placed a plus icon. So if you just click, it's going to create a new layer over here. And then let's move on to the next new feature, and that is of the gradient. So if we go over here in the adjustment layer and select the gradient, and you will see that a gradient is automatically applied. It is going to show you the preview instantly. Earlier you need to press OK, only then it's going to show you the preview, but now it is instantly applied. And if we select on the gradient, over here you will see in the gradient panel we have so many gradients option. Now you can see they have categorized the gradient based on the basics. So in the basics we have this one, and this one, and in the blues we have these. All right, so you can just click and it's going to instantly apply and going to show you the preview. So if I just press OK and change this layer blend mode to, let's say, soft light, and then I go to this one and let's change to anything else, so I can just do that very easily. So we have the reds, all right, we have the pinks, we have the purples. So whole lot of categories are over here. So we have some clouds as well. So if you want to just have some cloud colors, so gray colors, and we have some greens over here. So we have whole sort of gradient and they are included by default. And we have the neutrals, so these are the neutrals. Okay, so you can just do anything with the help of this one. So this is very easy and very handy. So let's move on to the next feature of the Adobe Photoshop, and that is the new patterns. So if you go to the patterns or the textures, so you will see that there are now so many textures which has been added. So we'll click on this and select the large thumbnail, and let me place it over here little larger. So you will see that we have new textures of trees. So we have the trees, you can see we have different trees texture, and we have the grass textures. So by default we have this one, and then we have the water texture. So these are new textures which has been added in this one. And let's move on to the next feature, and the next feature is of the custom shapes. So if you go to this tool, custom shape tool, by pressing U or by pressing shift U number of times or multiple times, you will see this shape icon, and over here some of new features has been added. So now we have the leaf trees, leaf and trees. So these are all included in it. Earlier it was not there. And then we have some wild animals. So they have been categorized properly so that you can easily find them and use them. Then we have the boats, so you can use the boats. And then we have the flowers, so we can use the flowers as well. So if I want to draw like this, and shift, and by pressing this I can just create this tag. Okay, very easily. That's it. So these are the top features of Adobe Photoshop CC 2020. Which is your favorite feature of Adobe Photoshop 2020? Do let me know in the comments. My favorite feature is this object selection tool and the gradient. So what's your favorite? Just let me know in the comment section. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode. Till then, keep shooting and unleash the creative in you. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing, consider liking this video and sharing this video with others. Bye bye.